You know, do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them.
Michael Jackson rarely showed his anger in public. That's exactly why the few times he did stand out so much. Whether it happened during an interview, a rehearsal, or in response to public criticism, these moments revealed a side that most people never expected.
When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me. So it is. It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
One of those moments came during an interview with a young fan. Instead of asking about his music or performances, she repeated a rumor that had followed him for years. Most celebrities would have brushed it aside, but Michael answered without hesitation.
True that you don't like Arabs?
Is it true that I what?
You don't like Arabs?
No, that's not true at all. I love Arabs. I love all people of the world. That's a good example how people make up stories that aren't true.
As time went on, the rumors became much more serious. By the early 2000s, Michael was no longer dealing with gossip alone. His name was dominating headlines around the world. During an appearance at an NAACP event, many people expected him to avoid the subject completely. Instead, he stepped up to the microphone and spoke openly about the situation, making it clear he wasn't going to let others tell his story for him.
For decades, the NAACP has stood at the forefront of the struggle for equal justice under the law for all people in our land. They have fought in the lunchrooms of the South, in the hallowed halls of the Supreme Court, and in the boardrooms of corporate America for justice, equality, and the very dignity of all mankind. Members of the NAACP have been jailed and even killed in the noble pursuit of those ideals upon which our country was founded. None of these goals is more meaningful for me at this time in my life than the notion that everyone is presumed to be innocent.
For a moment, Michael wasn't talking like the world's biggest pop star. He sounded like someone exhausted by years of defending himself. He spoke with quiet confidence and insisted that the truth would eventually speak louder than the headlines.
Everyone is presumed to be innocent and totally innocent until they are charged with a crime and then convicted by a jury of their peers. I never really took the time to understand the importance of that ideal until now, until I became the victim of false allegations and the willingness of others to believe and exploit the worst before they have had the chance to hear the truth.
If anyone still believed Michael never confronted people publicly, that opinion didn't last long. During his battle with Sony, he did something almost nobody expected. Standing in front of a crowd, he publicly called out one of the most powerful executives in the music industry by name.
Because not only am I presumed to be innocent, I am innocent. And I know that the truth will be my salvation. I have been strengthened in my fight to prove my innocence by my faith in God and by the knowledge that I am not fighting this battle alone.
Standing before a crowd, Michael showed a level of emotion that fans rarely saw in public. He believed black artists had been treated unfairly for years, and he wanted people to finally pay attention.
Throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. It's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists.
As the speech continued, Michael became even more direct. He called on people to stand against what he saw as discrimination inside the industry and openly criticized Tommy Mottola by name. It was a bold move, especially coming from someone who usually avoided public confrontations. In that moment, it was clear he had decided staying quiet was no longer an option.
Sony, Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish. So I need your support, not just for me. When you fight for me, you're fighting for all black people. I really believe it's a conspiracy because the story always ends the same. We pioneer, we innovate. You know, at the end of the story, you know, well, it's not an accident. It's happened on purpose.
Before leaving the stage, Michael reminded everyone of the success he had brought to Sony and explained why he believed the company turned against him after he gained more control over his career. He wasn't speaking out of impulse. He sounded like someone who had been holding these feelings in for a long time and had finally decided to say them out loud.
To this day, Thriller still is the largest selling album of all time. That's right, saved them from bankruptcy. And I made billions of dollars for Sony. And what they did was really terrible. And not just to me, but some of their other artists too. You know, from George Michael to Mariah Carey to, you know, yeah. He has got to go. He has got to be terminated.
Michael's criticism didn't end with that speech. Later, he made it clear this wasn't a passing frustration. He believed Sony had deliberately turned against him after he fought for greater control over his music. It was one of the rare times Michael repeatedly returned to the same issue, showing just how personally he took it.
Being the artist that I am at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago, because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs.
As he continued, it became clear this wasn't just about one album or one disagreement. Michael believed powerful people wanted to make an example out of him once he stopped doing things on their terms. He stayed composed, but every sentence carried the frustration of someone who felt he had been pushed too far.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know. So the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But I've always said, you know, good art never dies.
Michael wasn't only demanding when reporters questioned him. Rehearsals brought out an entirely different side. If something sounded wrong, even slightly, he stopped everything immediately.
You guys, I gotta tell you this. When I'm trying to hear it, it feels like somebody's fist is pushed into my ear. It's really very difficult. I know you mean well, but I'm trying to adjust to the inner ears, okay? With the love, L-O-V-E.
Michael?
It's not easy, though.
One small mistake was enough for Michael to call everyone back and do it again. He wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. He simply refused to accept anything less than the performance he had imagined. Those around him quickly learned that good enough was never part of his vocabulary.
No, you gotta let it simmer. It's got a moment where it has to simmer.
That's right.
You're not letting it simmer. You just bathe in the moonlight. You have to let it simmer.
What made Michael different was that he held himself to the same standard. When he missed a cue, he didn't pretend it hadn't happened. He stopped, admitted it, and reminded everyone why rehearsals existed in the first place. Every mistake was meant to happen there, not in front of thousands of fans.
That was a mistake. There is no second verse. Sorry about that, you guys. First verse, ooh, then right to the bridge. Okay. Let's do it one more time.
Sure. Want to go down and come back up?
Yeah. That's why we have rehearsal.
Even at his angriest, Michael rarely reacted on impulse. Instead, he wrote down everything he wanted to say before responding. It was his way of cooling off first, proving that even when emotions ran high, he wanted his words to be carefully chosen.
I made a list of things. When I get angry enough, I write down what I want to say and what I want to talk about to set the record straight. Because you get to a point where you get tired of people lying. I get tired of situations like this, where people completely lie on me, and I'm sick of it.
Even on stage, there were moments when Michael's patience ran out. While trying to speak to the crowd, he kept getting interrupted by his own brothers. At first, he laughed it off, but after it happened again and again, his expression changed. For a few seconds, the easygoing performer disappeared, and the frustration he'd been holding back was written all over his face.
Listen, no, Mike, we're talking about I want you back. Do you want to hear I want you back? We've come to a compromise here. Okay. We'll do I want you back. I'm ready. But let's do it the way we did it in 1970 on the inside.
For years, reporters kept coming back to the same subjects. No matter what Michael was there to promote, the conversation often drifted back to his appearance. At first, he answered the questions calmly, but you could tell he'd heard them countless times before. Instead of playing along, he pushed back against the rumors and made it clear he was tired of seeing the same stories treated as facts.
Do you think that people do go too far with plastic surgery, generally? Do you think it's become... So why are you so defensive when people say, Mick Jagger's had one, Paul McCartney may have had one, Michael Jackson's had one?
They don't do it that way.
What do they do?
They just pick on me like I'm the only one that does it. That's why.
If people said, well, actually, Michael's the same as everyone else, then it wouldn't upset you so much.
It wouldn't upset me so much.
You know, if you want to have a facelift, you have a facelift.
Yeah.
As the interview went on, his patience became harder to hide. He looked like someone who had spent years answering the same accusations and no longer saw any point in repeating himself.
You talked about how when you went through adolescence, you had a terrible time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had a look at some pictures of you during that period. And you did have a lot of spots.
Yeah. Yeah. And being shy as I am and was, then even worse than. Terrible. It was like a disease.
The courtroom brought a different kind of pressure. Every answer seemed to lead to another difficult question, forcing Michael to stay composed while facing relentless scrutiny from every direction.
During Raoul Conitzer, when you were under the influence of prescription medication?
Could have been, probably.
So that's probably?
Probably, yes, probably.
By the taking of prescription medications or something else at the time you signed these two documents?
Could have been.
Okay. Is that your best recollection, is that you signed these while impaired, not knowing what they meant?
Could maybe say so.
March 31, 2003, were you still impaired because of the taking of prescription medication?
Could have been.
Then came one of the most serious moments of Michael's life. As allegations against him spread across the world, public opinion turned almost overnight. Instead of staying silent, he released a statement and spoke directly to the people who had been following the story. His frustration behind it was impossible to miss.
There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.
Michael believed he wasn't only fighting the accusations, he felt he was also fighting the way they were being reported. Before any court had reached a decision, headlines had already painted a picture of who he was. In this moment, he made it clear that he believed the media had helped shape that image long before he ever had the chance to defend himself.
I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions.
As he finished speaking, Michael left the audience with one final message. Rather than asking for sympathy, he simply urged people not to make up their minds before hearing the full story. It was a brief statement, but it showed how determined he was to be heard instead of judged from a distance.
I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal.
After years of constant headlines and public scrutiny, Michael knew he couldn't answer every rumor. Instead of pursuing every accusation, he chose his moments carefully and trusted that time would tell the rest.
So is the family still closely knit despite all the kind of tabloid stuff over
That's
the years?
sensationalism.
How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with sensationalism?
Yeah, how do you deal with everything in your life being magnified, exaggerated?
It's not true.
Over time, that became Michael's approach to almost every controversy. Rather than spending his life arguing with headlines, he chose to make his position clear and let time do the rest. It wasn't a surrender. It was the only way he believed he could keep moving forward.
It's like looking at a fictitious movie because it's fiction. It's like watching science fiction. It's not true. And I know myself. And it's sad when other people have to read those things.
Do you feel like holding a press conference every week and saying, well, this is the rumor du jour? That's not true.
No, because I know eventually the truth will prevail, and I'm about truth. The bigger the star, the bigger the target. I'm not trying to say I'm the super duper star. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, the fact that people come at celebrity. We're targets. And, but truth always prevails, and I believe in that. I believe in God, you know?
Does that faith sustain you?
Of course it does.
When Michael was asked about Eminem's parody, he didn't avoid the question or laugh it off. Instead, he admitted that the video had genuinely upset him because it mocked some of the most painful chapters of his life.
But not to Eminem. We've spoken about it. I think that you should. Why not?
Speak about what?
About Eminem and this disrespect that he showed you.
Michael explained that what bothered him wasn't criticism itself. It was seeing deeply personal experiences turned into entertainment. He believed artists should respect one another, even when they disagreed. So when he said Eminem should be ashamed, it wasn't an emotional outburst. It was a calm but unmistakably firm response from someone who felt a line had been crossed.
I've never met Mr. Eminem, and to have him, I've always admired him, and to have him do something like that was pretty painful as an artist to another artist. And it's sad because, well, I think what Stevie Wonder said is true. And I just don't want to say too much more than that. But he should be ashamed of himself, what he's doing. Stevie said he's bull, and when he speaks, people listen. And it was wrong of Eminem to do what he did. I've been an artist most of my life doing what I do, and I've never attacked another fellow artist. Great artists don't do that. You know, you don't have to do that.
Eminem's parody was one of the few public attacks Michael refused to ignore. But even that wasn't the last time people saw his patience wear thin. During rehearsals, one mistake from the music director was enough to bring out a side of Michael that fans rarely witnessed. People sometimes assumed Michael's quiet personality meant they could joke with him endlessly. Most of the time he smiled and let it go, but every now and then someone pushed a little too far. The mood changed instantly, and with just a few words, Michael made it clear that there were limits to his patience.
Rob, how close are you?
I don't know, pretty close.
Like this? Or can you see chest?
I can see right about where your Nike is.
What a schmuck. Back up. Didn't.
He never raised his voice, but he didn't have to. His shorter answers and expressions said enough. It was one of those moments where Michael's frustration showed without him ever needing to argue.
Did you buy the Elephant Man's bones? Were you trying to get them?
That's another stupid story. Someone makes it up and everybody believes it. If you hear a lie often enough, you hear it enough, you start to believe it.
The conversation then moved to something even more personal. Critics had spent years trying to explain who Michael was without ever asking him. Instead of letting those assumptions stand, he answered with complete confidence and refused to let anyone else define his identity.
You wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so stupid. That's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a black American.
By then, Michael felt the rumors had grown into something much bigger than gossip. Speculation had started replacing facts, and he wanted people to remember there was a real person behind every headline. It was a message he returned to again and again throughout his career.
Then let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, I don't. Sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller.
And
Sometime
what did you
around there.
think? I mean, you.
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad. I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private. But that's the situation here. So please, when people see something like that.
I just want to get this straight.
Yeah.
You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no.
You did not purposely.
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin.
Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell for more breakdowns like this.